Obviously, I can't clap with both hands, improvising there a little bit for you guys. The Raptors played the first preseason game there last night against the Charlotte Hornets and were victorious 111-100. And as much as we love we're talking about a W and whatnot, it is preseason. Doesn't mean a dang thing. But it's nice to see the Raptors back out there and getting a win nonetheless, and spoiling LaMelo Ball's first game, even though it's just preseason. And he was 0 of 5, didn't score a single point, had 10 rebounds and had a couple nice assists. But, I mean, whatever. We're here to talk about the Toronto Raptors and how they got the victory against Charlotte. And I got a bunch of notes here. Obviously, I can't look up stats on my phone because I'm using my phone, so I have them all written down here. But let's get to this real quick. It did not start out good for the Toronto Raptors. Now, obviously, it's their first preseason game. A lot of changes happened in the offseason. So you didn't expect it to be a really good start to the basketball game. And it wasn't. The Raptors were down by like 19 at one point. They went on like a 20-something-0 run. Like, it was bad. But later in the first quarter, the Raptors crawled back into it, and they looked pretty good. They were making some shots. In the second quarter, that's when they really kicked. I think it was like 35-19 it was in the second quarter. And just like that, the Raptors, they were right back in, and they just took off from there. Everybody started contributing. Everybody made things happen. The Raptors as a team shot only 41% from the field. Obviously not that great. They shot 36% from three, which is a pretty solid number for a team who hasn't played in quite some time and is so new. But they only shot 64% from the free throw line. So again, not the greatest, but it's your first preseason game. It's not a big deal. All right, I'm going to go through some stats here real quick. -8 on the boards. All right, as we're so used to seeing, -4 on the offensive boards, and again, as we're used to seeing. But the Raptors, without Kyle Lowry, because he didn't play in the game last night, and he's not playing in the game tomorrow against Charlotte, the Raptors were +3 in assists. So they didn't do all that bad, if you ask me. The Raptors, again, as we've always talked about, guys, what are the Raptors known for? Their defense. That's what Nick Nurse is all about. That's what he is. He's the defensive-minded coach, but he is such a good coach at that. And with all these new guys coming into the squad, Aaron Baines, the 2 draft picks, Malachi Flynn, who looked great in his first game, Jalen Harris for a little bit. You saw a little bit of Alex Len. And I thought they looked really good. I thought you saw some really good things out of these guys. I loved what I saw from Malachi Flynn. The intensity in the defensive end, knocking in some shots, looked really comfortable out there. And that's what you love to see from a young player playing in his first ever preseason game. Confidence and how calm, cool, and collected. Whether he was nervous or not, I don't see it. Again, who does that remind you of? Fred VanVleet. I mentioned that in the preseason video that he kind of reminds me of Fred. And out there playing, he looked a lot like Fred VanVleet. Now, and like I said, the defensive intensity Nick Nurse always wants this team to bring. 16 steals for the Toronto Raptors. Obviously, it's preseason, doesn't mean anything. +9 in steals, so a great job there. 8 blocks to their 3, so a +5 for the Toronto Raptors in this one. So a really good job on the defensive end. Again, after the first quarter, really dialing it in and really doing a great job. Raptors had 17 turnovers, obviously not a great number, but again, it's preseason, it's your first game with a bunch of new guys. You expect kind of sloppy turnovers. They had 22, not that big a deal. With those 22 turnovers that the Charlotte Hornets had, the Raptors scored 28 points off of those turnovers. What does that lead to? Well, obviously not all of them are in the fast break and not all of them are live ball turnovers, but 28 points off of turnovers, this team gets out and they run. Even without Kyle Lowry, even without guys like Ibaka and Gasol, who really weren't doing that anyways, this team got out and boogied. And you love to see it. 28 points off of 22 turnovers. You made them pay for their mistakes, and that is exactly what you like to see. Now, let's get into some specific players. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about every single guy because there was a lot of different players who entered the game today, but some guys who really made an impact in my mind I have written down here. Right, we're going to start with Pascal Siakam because we kind of have to start with him. Yes, he only had 9 points and shot 3 of 10. That's not the greatest. But what I saw from Pascal Siakam is the confidence from old Pascal. Not bubble Pascal, who looked like he was just forcing everything, looked sloppy. It wasn't pretty. But what did we see from Pascal last night that was good? He knocked down some threes. He was 3 of 6 from 3. He looked confident taking those shots. He looked like old Pascal. And he only played 12, 15 minutes. Again, not much. It's preseason, right? So you're not going to run these guys out there for 35 a night or whatnot. So I thought he did really well. OG Anunoby, and we talked about it in the preseason preview, guys. We talked We talked about OG Anunoby kind of being that difference maker this year, kind of taking that next step and becoming that next big thing for the Toronto Raptors. He had a very good first game in the preseason, 11 points, 5 rebounds on 5 of 10 shooting. He was only 1 of 4 from 3, but including that incredible move that he had going around LaMelo Ball. I love how the American commentators are talking about LaMelo Ball right as that's happening, and they totally disregard that OG even did that to him just there. I heard an O, and then they go back to, man, he's been spectacular. Okay, right over their head. But a great job by OG, 11 points, 5 boards, and 5 of 10 shooting in his first preseason game. You like to see it, all right? Aaron Baines, let's talk about him for a second. Obviously, you know, with losing guys like Serge Ibaka, and I understand people don't have the love for Marc Gasol because of the season he had last year, but he was a huge impact on this team for most of last year. Aaron Baines is coming in here with a lot of expectations, really. And he only played, I think it was 12 minutes. He had 5 points, 5 rebounds, shot 2 of 4, and was 1 of 2 from 3. And again, early on in the game, I thought defensively he looked a little lackluster, was late getting to contests, got into foul trouble a little bit, had a couple tough fouls that he, again, should have gotten in the way of. But then you see him with a couple of great interior plays. He took a charge. And you guys and I both know, when Kyle Lowry's watching this game and he sees his big man, Aaron Baines, taking a charge, he's like, oh yeah, that's my man right there. Again, what was Marc Gasol so good at? Taking charges, anticipation inside the paint. He was so good at that kind of stuff. I'm not saying Aaron Baines is going to be that, but to see him take that charge and to have that recognition, it's nice to see. And the fact he knocked down a 3, was 50% from the field, gave you 5 and 5 in 12 minutes. Again, if he plays 25, 30 minutes a night, as it seems like he's going to on a regular given night, you know, it could be a double-double, right? So Aaron Baines, pretty good start to his first game. Now, this is where things get fun, people. These are the guys that we don't talk a lot about, but they made impacts today. Matt Thomas, Matty Ice, looked real good out there in his first game this year. We talked about how good he was last season and how great of a three-point shooter he was. But this year, at least in that game last night, I thought he was explosive and he wanted the ball. When a guy like Matt Thomas, reminds me of J.J. Redick in a sense, when he wants the ball, he's dangerous. And Matt Thomas has 16 points off the bench today, 5 of 9 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3. And you guys remember that one cut that I think it was a Terence Davis that hit him on the cut right to the rim where he laid it up and in. That was beautiful. Beautiful job by Matt Thomas and Terence Davis on the hook up there. All right, now let's get to Terence Davis. And obviously we know the implications with him and the whole situation that's going on with him right now. But there's nothing we can do about that right this second. So we're going to talk about his game. And I thought he looked pretty good out there. He didn't look like he was having anything looming over his head. He had 13 points, 4 of 9 from the field, was 2 of 6 from 3. I thought he was really good. Again, made a really nice pass there to Matt Thomas, cutting to the tin and getting the nice easy layup. I thought he looked pretty good. Again, Terence Davis now out of his rookie years in his second season now, so you like to see that next step jump for a guy like Terence Davis. Now let's get to the two young guys before we wrap this thing up. We're going to start with Malachi Flynn, first round pick of the Toronto Raptors. Like I said earlier, I thought he was awesome. I thought he looked really good. He looked really comfortable out there, and he knocked down 3 threes. He ended the game with 9 points on 3 of 7 from the field, was 3 of 6 from 3, and he dropped 4 dimes as well. I thought he looked really comfortable. His vision was spectacular, and the fact that he knocked down 3 threes, hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Really good job for Malachi Flynn in his first game as Toronto Raptor. And Jalen Harris, second round pick of the Raptors this past offseason. Again, 1 of 4 from the field, knocked down a 3. And I think for me, I look at a guy like Jalen Harris, who we talked about when they were drafted, that these guys are shooters. Like, Jalen Harris is a downright shooter. We're not sure what he is in the defensive side of the ball, but shooting-wise, guy is amazing. And, to see him knock down his first 3 in the NBA, albeit, a preseason game, it was nice to see. It was nice to see him get the weight off his shoulders, and I thought he did really well. Going back to Malachi Flynn, because I was going to talk about something there. The defensive side of the ball for him, I didn't know what it was all about until I watched that game. I thought I saw a couple really good steals. His shot contests were extremely good. I don't know, Malachi Flynn, I'm starting to become a fan really quickly of this kid, and I like what we're seeing from the youngin' out of San Diego State. And the last guy the Raptors had from San Diego State, he was pretty good. Kawhi Leonard. Now, obviously, Malachi Flynn's not going to be a Kawhi Leonard. Well, we don't know what he's going to be, but a really good start. Obviously, preseason, but a really good start for Malachi Flynn in his first game as a Toronto Raptor. All right, so guys, I'm not going to talk any more about this. It's preseason stuff. We went through the stats, talked about who did what. We talked about the team stats. They won, and we're going to wrap it up there. Game 2 of the preseason goes tomorrow against the same Charlotte Hornets. I think it's a 7 o'clock tip-off again. If it's not, it could be a 7:30 tip-off. No matter what, Raptors play Game 2 of the 3 games of preseason tomorrow as they take on the Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte. All right, so guys, that is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and you like the landscape mode, I saw a couple comments for that. I tried to do that here. Hopefully it looks good for you guys. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed this one. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on the game. Would you like, would you not like from today's or last night's first Raptor game of the preseason? All right, Twitter is down below for myself, guys. Follow up, send me a DM, all that great stuff. Also, the Instagram page is down below, so follow up there if you've not done so already. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow as the Raptors take on the Charlotte Hornets in Game 2 of the 3-game preseason for the Toronto Raptors. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys then.